When most people start thinking about flattening their stomach, their mind immediately jumps to sit-ups, crunches, or maybe some fancy machine they've seen at the gym. They think the secret lies in endless repetitions, sweating harder, and pushing themselves until they can barely breathe. But let me ask you, how many of you have actually tried that before? How many of you have put in the time, done the crunches, felt the burn, and yet when you looked in the mirror a month later, not much had changed? Be honest, because that frustration is real, and it's the reason so many people give up before they ever get the results they want. The problem isn't you. The problem isn't that your body is broken or incapable. The problem is that you've been training the wrong muscles. Now, here's where things get interesting. The stomach you see in the mirror, the one you want to tighten, is influenced by more than just the surface level of muscles. Those are called the rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscles. They look good when they're defined, but they are not the muscles responsible for pulling your stomach in. That job belongs to a much deeper muscle called the transverse abdominis. Think of it like an internal corset. It wraps around your midsection horizontally like a belt, and when it's activated, it cinches your waist in. When it's weak, it lets your belly push out. So here's the truth. If you want a flat stomach, you can't just focus on the muscles you see on the outside. You have to learn how to wake up the ones hidden underneath. And the very first exercise, the one I want to walk you through right now, does exactly that. It's called the vacuum hold. Now, don't let the simplicity fool you. At first glance, you might think it looks like nothing more than sucking in your stomach, but it's so much more than that. It's about deliberately engaging the transverse abdominis, holding it, controlling it, and retraining your body to keep it active. And when you do that consistently, your stomach literally reshapes itself. Let's try it together right now. Wherever you're sitting, or if you're standing, plant your feet firmly on the ground, roll your shoulders back so your chest opens up. Now, take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way, feel your ribcage expand, and now exhale slowly. As you exhale, imagine pulling your belly button back toward your spine. Not just tensing your abs, but pulling everything inward, like you're tightening a drawstring around your waist. Hold it, stay with it, 10 seconds. Keep breathing lightly as you hold. That's it. And now release. How do you feel? Some of you might feel a little shaky, maybe even lightheaded. That's normal. That's your muscles firing in a way they probably haven't in years. Some of you probably found it harder than expected. Maybe you could only hold it for 3 or 4 seconds, and that's okay, because right there is your starting point. Now, here's the key: consistency. If you practice this exercise for just a few minutes a day, you are going to start noticing something almost magical. Your stomach will begin to feel firmer even when you're not actively holding it in. Your posture will improve because your spine is being supported from within. You'll feel stronger when you walk, when you sit, when you bend, and best of all, you'll notice your waistline shrinking even if the number on the scale hasn't changed. Because sometimes the difference between a stomach that looks bloated and one that looks flat isn't fat, it's muscle engagement. I want to tell you about a woman I worked with a while ago. She had 3 kids, and no matter what she did, she couldn't seem to get her stomach flat again. She went to the gym, she ate healthier, she lost weight, but her midsection still didn't feel tight. When she learned the vacuum hold, she was skeptical. She thought, this is way too easy. How could this possibly make a difference? But she committed. Every morning, while brushing her teeth, she practiced 3 rounds of vacuum holds. 2 weeks later, she told me her pants fit differently. 4 weeks later, people at work were asking her what she was doing because her posture was straighter and her stomach looked leaner. She hadn't changed anything else. That's the power of reactivating those deep core muscles. Now, let me explain the science a little more because I want you to really understand why this works. Your transverse abdominis is part of what's called the inner unit of core stability. That unit includes your diaphragm, your pelvic floor, and a group of muscles that support your lower back. Together, they form a pressure system that keeps your spine safe, your organs supported, and your body stable. When those muscles are weak, not only does your stomach stick out, but you also become more vulnerable to back pain, poor posture, and shallow breathing. When they're strong, everything changes. Your body feels lighter, more aligned, and more capable. And here's the amazing part: this one exercise, the vacuum hold, doesn't just train your core, it retrains your nervous system. Every time you pull your stomach in and hold it, you're sending a signal to your brain. This is how I want to stand. This is how I want to move. And over time, that signal becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it anymore. Your body naturally holds your stomach tighter even when you're just walking down the street. That's why some people call this exercise the invisible workout. Nobody sees you doing it, but everyone notices the results. Now, let's practice again. This time, I want you to place your hand gently on your stomach. Take a deep breath in, then exhale, pulling your belly button back as far as you can. Feel the muscle contracting underneath your hand. Don't rush. Hold it for 15 seconds if you can. Breathe lightly through your nose while holding. Stay calm and release. Did you feel that? That's your core waking up. That's your natural corset tightening. The beautiful thing about this exercise is that it doesn't require time carved out of your busy day. You can do it anywhere, sitting at your desk during a Zoom call, standing in line at the grocery store, driving in your car, watching TV, even lying down in bed before you go to sleep. There are no excuses because this is one of the most accessible, practical exercises you'll ever find. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, but how long before I see results? And I'll be honest, it depends on your body, your consistency, and what else you're doing. Some people notice a difference within 2 weeks. Others may take a month. But here's what I can guarantee: if you do this daily, you will feel results almost immediately. You'll feel tighter, stronger, more engaged. The visual changes come as a natural side effect of that consistency. And one more thing, you need to be patient with yourself. Some of you have spent years, maybe decades, with weak or disengaged core muscles. They won't transform overnight, but they will transform. Every 10-second hold you do is progress. Every time you engage those muscles, you're one step closer to the flat stomach you've been chasing. Let me give you one more story, because I know some of you still doubt how powerful this can be. There was a man in his late 50s who came to me with terrible lower back pain. He wanted a flatter stomach, yes, but more than that, he just wanted to move without pain. I taught him the vacuum hold, and at first he could only manage 5 seconds, but he kept at it. Over time, not only did his stomach flatten, but his back pain decreased dramatically. Why? Because the same muscles that flatten your stomach also stabilize your spine. By strengthening them, he was protecting his back. That's why I always say this exercise is not just about vanity, it's about vitality. Now, let's finish this part strong. I want you to try one last round with me. Wherever you are, take that deep breath in. Exhale fully. Pull your belly button back. Hold it. Count it out in your head. 10 seconds, 15, maybe even push for 20. Feel that strength building. And now let it go. That's your foundation. So here's the takeaway. Before you ever worry about the advanced exercises, before you load up weights or chase after the next fitness trend, master this. Because once your transverse abdominis is active and strong, everything else you do will be amplified. Your planks will be stronger, your twists will be more effective, your posture will be better, and your stomach will be flatter. This is the first building block, the cornerstone. And if you commit to it, if you practice it daily, it will change not just the way you look, but the way you feel in your own body. And as we move into the next part of this journey, remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. This simple movement, this invisible exercise, is your proof that small actions done consistently lead to big transformations. Now that you got the foundation, we can move to the next exercise. And when we do, you'll realize just how powerful your core can truly become.